Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am re-recording this intro because the last one was bad, but basically this video is going to be about how I do the process of writing my first pattern. Basically it's going to be part crochet and chill, also just my process of how I figure out how to do this for the first time. I hope you stick around and watch the process of me figuring out how to do things for the first time. So I recently made my first ever pattern, which is this top right here. It's pretty cute. So I'll add some footage of me or some pictures of me in it. But I've decided to write a pattern for it. To do that, I'm going to make another one. So I'm just going to take you along with me on the journey of making them, kind of vlog style. I've never written a pattern before or done anything like this, so if you have any tips, definitely leave them in the comments. So the first thing I need to do is figure out measurements, because I just kind of like freehanded all of this, so that's why I'm making a second one to actually like iron down exactly what I did, so it's more like continuous with what I'm gonna do. I just did 25 chains. This actually turned out like a lot shorter than I thought. I thought it was gonna go to like here, but it basically is a bralette. But that's fine. Yeah, I'm just going to like kind of gauge this. Yeah, so it seems like it's about like 6.5 to 7 inches. And I did 25 stitches, so I'm gonna have to math that out. The beauty of this pattern is it's pretty versatile for different body types and stuff like that, so if you want to make it longer, just add more. If you need to make it a bigger size, you just crochet more. I'm basically gonna make everything like measurement based, not very strict, because I don't know how to do any of that. So like basically just like measure your shoulder, and that's how much the shoulder's gonna be, and then work it out from there, like with the puff sleeves and stuff like that. I did write down what I did for the puff sleeves because I had to do 2 of them, but I kind of forgot what this one was gonna be. So I kind of forgot what the first one was, and I had to frog this one like 6 times to get it to figure out kind of what it was, and I still don't think it's exactly what it was. So these sleeves are technically not uniform. Also, I think I might want to like shorten the sleeves a little bit when it's on. Picture here. It kind of like bunches down around the armpit, which the way where it falls is exactly where I wanted. Like it's like right here ish. I didn't want it to be like a full shirt length or anything like that. Yeah, it actually turned out like almost exactly what I wanted. The other thing is this pattern, like it has some embroidered details on it, and those are completely optional, but I just think it gives a little bit more interest. The same with the buttons. I think every clothing item that I do basically has buttons unless it's a pattern that someone else did. I'm just kind of obsessed with adding buttons because it just makes it look like, I'm not sure what it makes it look. I think it just makes it look better in my opinion. I don't know. I think I'm gonna go grab some yarn, and it's not gonna be the same yarn because this was actually just some random yarn in my stash that I decided to do a little stash buster with. So I'm gonna grab another color to try to do some more stuff, and so that means that it'll have some more color variations. Also, I'm thinking of like if I make an extra one to sell the pattern on my Etsy shop that I just made this morning. Alongside with the pattern, I'm obviously going to be selling the pattern. Extras you can like buy if you happen to be my size, because honestly I don't know how to size this up. Like this would probably be a small. I'll add my measurements and what I did in the pattern. So I don't know how to make like a medium or anything like that. I guess I could look up averages. You know, it'd probably only work if you're about my size, and I'll do my measurements and everything like that. This kind of is hinging on like your individual measurements. It's not like a t-shirt. It's supposed to be pretty fitted to you. So yeah, I'm gonna go grab some yarn. Okay, so I have this yarn and this yarn. I think I'm gonna use this yarn for the stem. Maybe. I'm probably actually gonna use green, whatever. But these yarns I got, actually this one was on sale. It's the Caron 1 pound thing, and I've already made like a sweater with this one and this color because they both came from the same thing. That's why I'm using this color, because I mean it's all weight for yarn, but I just wanted to make sure that it's about the same like brand of yarn, because sometimes it can work up differently. But I should probably try it with different weights in case someone wants to do that. I mean they totally could, they would just have to change like row counts and stuff like that. Basically people that use this pattern are gonna have to be a bit in the know-how of crocheting anyway to sift through my me being an idiot because I don't know how any of this works. But I want to give it a shot because it seems pretty fun, and yeah. And my life is just untangling yarn, of course. But yeah, I kind of want to I'm gonna make this exact one for a second time for the pattern, but I think I might make even a third that is longer because I kind of wanted to add like maybe like a corset back so you could like cinch it up and make the back tighter so the whole thing is tighter. Hey guys, so it's the next day and I did start on this. I just realized I forgot to weight the yarn beforehand so I would know how many grams to put in the pattern, so I'm gonna go do that now. So I don't know how people do this properly, but I just have a normal food scale and a bowl because this is quite a lot to like fit on here accurately. So I'm just gonna, okay, set to grams, zero it out with the bowl, and I guess we'll just plop her in. I'm starting with 262 grams to start off with. Okay, so I have that noted. Yeah, that could have been a disaster if I put on the buttons and everything and then it wasn't accurate. I'm just going to crochet a little bit and we can hang out. So I recorded a little bit and realized that the AC unit that's going on is way too loud. So I'm just gonna re-record this little crochet and chill section. So basically I just want to talk about the channel and what I foresee happening. Basically, this is just going to be me hanging out with you guys and crocheting, asking questions. I have a few video ideas set up, like my first cardigan that I ever made was a granny square cardigan, and I didn't know how to do measurements right, so the sleeves are to my knees, so it's completely unwearable. So what my plan is to convert that into a blanket, and I think that project will be pretty fun. I still have yarn left over from the project, so if I need to crochet more squares, I can. I think that will be a fun project because I'll have to add a border. I love crochet blankets a lot. My first big project was a blanket. The other blankets I've made I've given away as gifts, so I'm going to keep this one. Another project is decorating my desk space, basically, and having my background improve, which I already have done a fair bit of it already. The wall behind me used to not be decorated, and I thrifted this shower curtain right here today and put it up, and I think it looks super cute. I don't know why anybody would want to throw that away, but I have it now. I also got this super cute duck. It has a hole in the top and I don't know what that's for, but it's just precious. So I think I'm going to do a process video of like crocheting a keyboard mat, and I have a few other ideas on how to make the place more planty because I really like the, maybe not the cottagecore vibe, but like the overgrown nature vibe for sure. So I'm going to figure out how to do that as well, and that's another video idea I had. Other than that, I was just thinking of process videos, like the process of making a blank piece. Just taking you through vlog style of how I make all those and the trials and tribulations of doing a crochet piece. Also maybe like an insider look of how long these pieces actually take to make, because online people can kind of make it seem like it doesn't take that long, but it really does. I'm not a speed crocheter by any means. I've seen a couple people that can just rapid fire crochet, and I'm definitely not that good yet. Yeah, and I'd also like to do the classic video of everything I've made ever. I've made a lot of pieces that I've given away. I don't have that good of pictures of them, but I will try my best to post some photos of it. I've made a lot of amigurumi, I've made blankets, I've made a couple garments, and some bags as well. So I can just show off all of that stuff. I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing the ideas style video of here's a bunch of cute things you can crochet and they're all from Pinterest or things that people have made before. I might. I don't have a lot of Pinterest ideas stocked up in the crochet area, so that type of video might be a bit hard for me. I just kind of see something and I fixate on it until I've made it. I'm probably going to go through the process of designing pieces too. Like this one I've already made and I'm just remaking and writing a pattern for it, but I might go take you guys through the process of actually designing a piece and the trials and tribulations that come along with it. I also have a Granny Square book that someone gifted to me, so I might go through and try out some of those and like maybe give a review on them, like how hard it actually is, or you know, how quick they work up and what you can make with them, because Granny Squares are kind of endless. But you can make bags with them, you can make all of this. I might also make some tutorials, like there's some pieces that I've made that I would argue don't need a pattern because they're just kind of so simple that you could kind of figure it out even if you're a beginner. But I might go through the process of making a larger bag or making straps for that bag, how to do that type of thing. So I might make those too. So I think I have a pretty good log of ideas that I could act on for a little bit, but feel free to put down in the description what you want to see from me. This is a new channel, so I don't expect really anybody to comment anything right now, but I want to do ideas that you guys want me to. I've seen the like AI writes a pattern for me and they do it. But also the thing about AI is if you just ask them to write you a pattern full stop, it's just gonna kind of go crazy. There was one video I watched, I'm gonna try to find it and link it in the description. Basically the video was giving the AI choices and letting it pick the choices. It didn't give it free reign over everything, which I think is a good idea, because if you just say write me a blank pattern, it's going to kind of go off the wall a little bit. So I was really entertained by the video game versions where AI gets you through Elden Ring or something like that. I might try to do an AI video, that might be fun, but I don't know what I would make it for. Maybe a top or something like that. But yeah, like I said, comment down any content suggestions that you'd like to see from me. I'm pretty much open to anything. I could do a vlog style, I could do more just tutorial and down to brass tacks, I could do more of a chill video style, that type of thing. There's a bunch of different things. I'm still learning how to edit and how to structure videos and all of that stuff, and so hopefully I'll get better at it as time goes on, but so just bear with me while I grab my bearings of how to do all this. But so yeah, I'm just gonna continue crocheting this and get back to you when it's long enough to fasten off. Okay, so it's the next day again, but I have the entire body done plus the ribbing on the sides. And it's taking me so long to do this because I have been writing the pattern to go along with it and taking photos of this and recording little tutorial sections. And because when I was writing the pattern, trying to explain exactly what I'm doing is actually pretty hard, because when I'm like, do this stitch on the top of your work, I mean the top, but they might think the top or something like that. So I just want to include a lot of photos and videos to make sure that everybody's on the same page. And since this is such a fitted look, I'm hoping that people will take their own measurements and run with it, and I'm just hoping that it fits well enough for everybody that tries it, even if anybody even does try it, I don't know. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep trucking away at this. I wrote down the pattern from memory, and now I'm going to do this version and try to figure out what I need to do, the tutorial pieces, because I'm particularly scared about the sleeves and how to measure them out and stuff like that, so we'll see how that goes.
Listen carefully.
Okay, so I've made progress on the first sleeve, it's done, and I'm doing the second sleeve now. So I thought I would hop on here and talk a little bit about how I think it's going and everything. Basically, I'm planning on running everything on my Instagram account. I'll put everything here. But basically, since I am a smaller account, I'm probably not going to do a tester call for this pattern until I have a bit more of a following. I ran a poll on my account to see if anybody would be interested, and no one seemed to, so I'm probably gonna wait until I have just a little bit more of a following to actually have a tester call, because I don't want to make this pattern, spend a bunch of time on it, and potentially charge for it, and then there's problems with it that a tester would have caught and I would have been able to fix. I just want to be able to have testers for this pattern to make sure that everything's tip-top and that I explain myself well enough, since this is my first pattern and everything. Also, I'm pretty new to the crochet world as well. I've only been crocheting since January, and it's September now, so a fair bit of the year, but it's still pretty early on for me to be doing making my own patterns and writing them. I barely can read patterns myself, so that's why I want to make sure that I'm making sense for people that will read this pattern. That's also a reason why it's taking so long to write this pattern, because I'm making sure to explain myself as clearly as possible, but also include video clips of little tutorial sections and photos, annotated photos, and just trying to make it as easy as possible to understand what's going on. Yeah, after this sleeve, the only thing that's left to do is sew on the buttons on this ribbing and then do the embroidered details. And I'm just gonna make the embroidered details completely optional. I think it adds some intrigue to the top, but it's definitely not mandatory or anything if you don't like embroidering or anything like that. So yeah, I'll check back in with you guys when I have finished up here. So the top is finished. Here it is. I will include a photo of me wearing it here. And now I got 2 of these bad boys. Basically, I just want to talk a little bit about the whole experience. In no means did I think that this was going to be an easy experience writing a pattern. I basically thought it was going to be a little tedious, but nothing I couldn't handle. And I did handle it, but the way that I describe things, or the way I do things, is not necessarily how I would describe them to somebody else, if you get what I mean. So putting my thoughts and techniques into words was a little difficult to me, especially because I'm not the most experienced pattern reader myself quite yet. So there might be some abbreviations or some ways of communicating that I just don't know yet. However, I did write it all out. I'm including numerous tutorial videos and images and annotated infographics about everything to make sure that it's all as understandable as I could possibly make it. There's also a graphic design element to all of this, trying to get the pattern itself to look aesthetically pleasing, and I've been using the free version of Canva to do that. If you have a better software, free software preferably, link it or comment about it in the description, because I really like Canva. It has a lot of good templates and stuff, but I got a little frustrated with figuring out stuff. I wanted a little bit more freedom where to place things that I didn't get. But I'm just gonna roll with it for this one. But yeah, as I said earlier, I probably won't be doing a pattern test until my Instagram just gets a little bit more of a following, because I don't want to do a whole pattern test post and everything and get like 1 applicant. I really want people to test this and make it better so I can have a fully developed pattern that is as understandable as possible and as polished as possible. So yeah, as I mentioned earlier, all of this is going to be going through my Instagram account. I will link it, or this is what it is right here, and I'll link it in the description. If you want to catch up with me. I post there a lot. That's basically a wrap on this video. Thank you so much for bearing with me through this whole process. I would really appreciate it if you would consider liking and subscribing to my channel. As I mentioned earlier, I have a lot of ideas of what to post on here. Just keep an eye out, and I'll see you sometime in the near future.